Right, 3 squeezes.
PPG.
Yeah.
PPG box.
270 hours now. Overdue a service. We'll take that to fancy next week.
Yeah.
Get us to do the bottom end and all that.
Yeah.
Right, so if she starts. First hole! Have fun. Good mate. See you later. So it's the 25th of March 2022 and the plan today is to fly along the North Norfolk coast. I have flown up to Hunstanton before, but I've not been further along than that, and there's some lovely beaches up there. To make the trip easier, I decided to drive up to Wingland Airfield rather than fly from where I live near Bedford, and fly from Wingland over to the paragliding club near Norwich. Kieran's over there doing his paragliding, so he's very kindly offered again to supply me with some fuel. So I'm going to top up my fuel tank, put 5 litres in from there, and then fly directly north from the west side of Norwich up to the North Norfolk coast. Some lovely sights on the way, and I'll show you those in a minute. So what I'm doing here is flying just along this dike. All the daffodils are out in mid-March, so really great day for flying. Very light winds, temperature's quite warm as well, so I've still got my summer gloves on, but it's probably about 15 degrees C, something like that. So a lovely day to fly, and find this lovely field of daffodils, and fly over to Norfolk Paragliding Club. So the flight over to the paragliding club takes me about an hour and 15 minutes. And then the flight back along the North Norfolk coast takes me about 2 hours and 15 minutes. So about 3.5 hours in total today. On the way, I pass Castle Rising, which is a ruined medieval fortification. And it was built soon after 1138 by William Davinci II. Probably pronounced that wrong. Anyway. If you're watching this and you fly from Wingland, it's definitely worth a trip if you haven't been over there. So the trip over to the paragliding club is largely uneventful really, apart from the Castle Rising, and so I'll cut most of that out and see some interesting houses on the way, but I'm going to cut most of that out. So I'm now kind of approaching the paragliding club now. There's the landing zone, so I'm just going to come in for a landing, fill up. I'm not going to stay that long this time. Last time I was here I hung around for a few hours, but I just pop in for half an hour or so and then take off again.
Fuel's on the table.
Oh, lovely. Thanks, mate. Caravan to launch. Paramotor requesting takeoff in 2 minutes.
Copy, that'll be good. Yeah, that'll be good.
Thank you. Proceeding to take off. The Paragliding Club is a lovely place. If you're considering it and you're in East Anglia, definitely worth a trip over there. Got great wide open space, as you can see, very long runway and a winch, and it's very well organised as well, so with safety in mind. So I'm now flying north, so we can head up to Fakenham and then up to Burnham Market and then near Wells, and then fly over the bird sanctuaries. So on the way I spot this kind of ruined church. It's a church tower called Godwick All Saints, which is likely a 17th century rebuild of the original 13th century church, which is known to have been lost its tower and was wholly ruined by 1602. When approaching Raynham Hall, which was for 400 years was the seat of the Townsend family, built between 1619 and 1637. It's not generally open to the public. Lord and Lady Townsend open the house just for a few days a year, so it's largely a private residence. This here is Sculthorpe, it's the MOD site, Ministry of Defence. It used to be RAF Sculthorpe during World War II and is now a training site for the Ministry of Defence. It was built in 1942 as one of only 2 RAF heavy bomber airfields. So this was planned. This is Creake Abbey, which dates from the 13th century. And after a devastating 15th century fire, it was drastically reduced in size with the arches and windows blocked. Then plague struck and the last abbot died alone, and in 1506 the abbey closed. This here is the avenue up to Holkham Hall, an 18th century country house constructed in the Neo-Palladian style for the first Earl of Leicester. Holkham Hall is actually one of England's finest examples of Palladian revival style of architecture. Though open to the public on Sundays, Mondays and Thursdays, it's still the family home of the Earls of Leicester of Holkham. There's lots of aristocracy and private residences around here. So on the right there is Wells next to the sea. I go straight north and that large beach there is called Holkham Beach. Looks very nice. I haven't actually been, and having flown up here, maybe I will make the journey by car and take my dog for a walk. It looks like a lovely beach on a beautiful day like this. Very few people around, but there's not a lot of access and not a lot of facilities either by the looks of it. But it does look like a glorious beach. And I have to say, flying a paramotor over places like this, I just feel so privileged to be able to do so. It's just the feeling of flying up here on this beautiful spring day is just great. Absolutely brilliant. So there are 3 bird sanctuaries marked on the air charts, and I'm very mindful to not annoy the ornithologists. So what I do here is, but nevertheless I do want to get a low down onto the beach. So I'm in between 2 bird sanctuaries here. There is not one marked on the map here, so I'm well away from the land and can't see any birds. So I think, why not come down for a quick little cheeky foot drag along the sand along the shoreline, and then I get some altitude up to about 1200 feet and fly over the bird sanctuaries. On the air charts you're not allowed to fly below 500 feet, so I at least double that and fly towards Hunstanton. See some people with their boats going for a little jolly on this lovely day. Wave down to them. And then this is the bird sanctuary below. So I've got some decent altitude here and stay high here all the way along really until I get towards Hunstanton. I'm just loving it so much. Got to do a selfie video, so apologies for that, but I'm really having a great time up here. So this below is Hunstanten Golf Club, and this is the furthest point I've flown along the coast, the North Norfolk Coast, before from Wingland. I've not flown past this point before, so it was great to see the North Norfolk Coast. It's definitely a trip I'll do again. Really enjoyed it. What I'm thinking of doing actually is trying to push the limits, and because I've modified my flying style now to conserve fuel, and may be able to do this trip on a single tank, or at least get as far as Wells on a single tank, so I'm probably going to do that over the next year. So it looks like the tide is in, and just love the colours of the Hunstanton Cliffs with the yellow sand and the blue sea. It was such a great day to fly. So I cut most of the trip out on the way back, so I'm just now flying south along the coast towards the corner of the Wash. Out to sea there is actually a military kind of danger area, which I'm flying on a Friday here, so I'm not allowed in there. So I fly inland a little bit towards the Great Ouse River and then across to England. So this flight was about 67 miles in length, took me 2 hours and 15 minutes to fly it. And just really enjoyed it, as I keep saying. Absolutely loved it. So there's Wingland Airfield below. I come in high so that I can not annoy the locals, and then come off the power, go to idle, and then come in for landing. Now I did try and land on that marker there, but the wind was actually a bit stronger than I thought, so I was well short of it. So I'm planning on landing on that orange marker, but misjudged the wind. Wind is a lot stronger than I expected, and don't really get anywhere near it. So another thoroughly enjoyable flight. March was a really, really great month to fly this year. There's some photos in the description, so if you want to see a link to the full photo album, I thought I took some nice shots on that flight. Feel free to have a look. And if you enjoyed, hit the like button, helps other people find the channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to subscribe. And thanks for watching.